Hello? He- he- Hello? Is this is this a hand cam stream? Is this a oh yes. This is a hand cam stream. You will be seeing my disgusting meaty hand. Look at that. Look at my little fingy wingies. You can see them down there. This is your regular reminder that I am a real flesh person who has disgusting fingers because I don't moisturize enough. So I'm gonna try my hardest not to show them off too much. It is a hand cam stream. This is also probably looks 10 times better than my previous hand cam stream because I got a new webcam. Yay! It's much more HD. Look at that. Wow, doesn't this look a lot better? And also it focuses. If I bring something up close to it, it actually does focus way more. Also, this is my ignore the cat hair, but this is my Ina plush that I bought from an artist alley last year. It is very cute and I love it. And it is fitting because we are going to be opening some Hololive cards here. Recent going to the concert kind of put me in the mood again, and also because like my friend he was like, hey, I'm gonna order a box because he really wanted to pull a Raura card. Raura is this VTuber right here. He really wanted to pull some Raura cards, and he was like, do you want a box? And I'm like, you know what, why not do it? Because I love to gamble after all. Thank God you took her out of a jar. What kind of guy do you think you think I'm a sicko? No, I would never treat her that way. This is my Oshi. I would never treat her that way. I have like a ton more Ina plushes as well though. I have so many. I think I have almost every single one she's released. There's only like a handful that I don't. There's probably like one or two that I don't have, which is the big small one. But this was a fan made one, so this isn't an official one, but I still like it. The other ones are a lot bigger, so that's why I'm not like really, you know. But yeah, we're gonna be opening these. This is from the Hololive official card game, not Hololive TCG, but official card game. Because Hololive has been a part of other like trading card games. Which are really well made. It is. It's by Pokepumps on Twitter. If you go check out Pokepumps, she sells them. She was selling them online before. But she also I think sells them at every con she goes to. Which if you want to follow her, keep up with her. She has all of Myth, so she has Callie, Ame, Gura, and Kiara as well. So if you want to like get any of those or you want the full collection, you can get them there. But yeah. But I'm opening these. I might start collecting these again, so you might see me opening another pack of these. I've been mostly waiting for them to have a set with Ina in them for me to like fully go all in, right? But this set actually has a lot of really nice looking cards. And the cool thing about the Hololive card, these are actually some of the best like high quality cards I've seen from a card game. You'll see what I mean when we actually get into it. But also, hey, new camera. I get to actually test out how good this new camera is and whatnot. So that's part of the reason why we're doing this too. We're gonna not only do this, but we're also gonna be taking a look at some art books a little later on. And for that segment, I'm not gonna have my VTuber on screen, by the way. I'm just letting you know. For this segment, I am gonna have the VTuber on screen. But for that, when we're looking at the art book, it's just gonna be the art book, and that's pretty much it. But yeah, so we're gonna get into this. This is me. I bought a new webcam that shoots in 4K, has HDR, and all this other fancy stuff, and it was like glitching out a little bit beforehand because my PC has that thing, and I don't know if other people's PCs have that thing where it's like certain USB ports are just kind of shittier than other ones for some reason, or for some reason whatever device you use doesn't want that USB port, so you have to plug it into another USB port. It's so weird, man. I don't get it, but like yeah, I was having an issue with that with this, and it was causing like my whole system to start like acting weird, like all my other USB devices. Luckily I figured it out. I just plugged it into a different USB. But yeah, so this the everything all good, all bueno. God, it's so HD. That's so weird. Oh, I hate it. Hey, Megadan, welcome. It's very HD. I have a thing of Dr. Pepper zero sugar over here. I've been drinking this thing like it's water. It's crazy. This is why I don't often buy like diet sodas, especially Dr. Pepper, because I will consume so many. But we'll get it. You will. We're gonna start opening these, and then you will see how HD these things look. Also, if you're wondering what my desk mat is, it is Eno from Guilty Gear, her Strive design. Her boobs are right here, as always. So yeah, you're just gonna be flashbanged by cleavage the whole time. It's a good mouse pad. I love it. Anyways, it's kind of old though. I've had it for a while. All right, let's open up this here box. Also, if you see a stray cat hair, that's just how it be. You're a cat owner, you know the feeling. I need to buy a second air purifier because one is simply not enough. Anyways, opening this up, and we'll see. I only got one box this time around just because I wanted to see how my luck was. Apparently, my friend's luck was actually really good. These have 12 packs. These have 12 packs and 14 cards per pack, I believe. So this isn't going to be as lengthy. This isn't going to be as lengthy as the Magic card opening streams, like in terms of like card opening, but it'll still be pretty cool. I'm gonna open this. Oh, wow, look at that. This is what the packs look like. It's a lot better organized because that actually has like a divider. I mean, it's less packs overall, but it's a lot better organized. The way that these sets go is that I think it's similar to Pokemon in that like it focuses on two specific girls from the group, and it'll be like this is their set and these are going to be the main draws, and then there's like the secondary girls who are also a part of this. But yeah, and I think it goes by rare, secret rare, ultra rare, Oshi rare, which is unique to this game, and then I think signature rare. And signature rare is essentially there is a 1 in 100 box chance that you will get a card with a signature. And now those chances for me are probably not too likely, but I am also going to hold on. I just remembered. I'm gonna pull out some sleeves, just in case we get something. In case we get something nice. I got some sleeves over here. So, and I'm also looking into learning how to play this game because I want to see like how it stacks up compared to other TCGs. Because I've kind of got bit by the card game bug. So there we go. All right, let's start. Let's start ripping them open. Hopefully this is a good way to display them. All right. Let's see. Pack 1. Oh, they have the little thing too, so you can just rip them. I don't think there's any specific order to how you pull these, so you just gotta pull them out. All right, and I'll explain as much of the inside jokes as I can as we go because. Sorry, I was bringing the trash can closer to me because obviously, if you're not into Hololive, a lot of this is gonna go over your head. But here you go. Here's a good example. So this is how you could see. Now, remember before when I would do the card openings, you couldn't even read the text. Now you can actually read the text and see the art, and it's all HD. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that nuts? Look at that. Look how high quality. Look at that focus. We have actual focus now. Anyways, so this is a mascot. The girls all have unique mascots, so you will see some of these. They're these little creatures. So there's a mascot. Oh, there's Korone. I'm sure if you've seen enough Hololive clips, you've seen Korone. Also, again, look at how good the art is for these cards. Isn't it insane? Have confidence, exactly. I like that she... Wait, I just realized her title is a fucking Yakuza reference. Mad Dog of Hololive. She's... That... What the? That's a Majima reference. I didn't even realize that. But yeah, there's Korone. There's Have Confidence. It's cool. And then, oh, this is cool. So this is one of the newer groups. This is Flow Glow, and It looks like it's like a support card that is all the girls in there. Again, look at the art. It's really, really good art. And I love it. Because they actually reach out to like the main artists of these girls, and they'll be like, "Hey, can you draw a special illustration for the card?" Or they'll get like certain other artists and whatnot. Hope she gets her wife in the pack too. Oh, there's Iroha. She's one of the main girls for this pack. Kazuma Iroha. No fucking way. No fucking way. Well, my friend might want this one. Oh boy. Wow, that's our first soup secret rare. That's Raura Pantera from Hololive English Justice. Look at that. Wow. Look at the detail on that foil. Isn't that crazy? That's insane. Okay, I'm going to set this one aside just in case my friend wants it, because this is his Oshi. This is the one he loves the most. But yeah, this is the Italian Catwoman. But this is an example of what like the more rarer cards look like, and this is what I mean by like the presentation on these is insane. Like some of the most high quality cards I've seen. So that's cool. There's Raura. Oh, and Riona. Another great design. All right. Well, let me sleeve this one. Right off rip, huh? I mean, my friend got some pretty good luck too, but I'm just gonna put that one away for now. And we're gonna put that one off to the side over here. Any Rauras I collect, I'm just gonna put it off to the side. So this is Riona. They're part of Flowglow, and Flowglow are a more music-led group within Hololive. They're part of a group called they're part of a side kind of part of Hololive called Device, and they're more focused on just being like music oriented people. And Flowglow and her group in particular try to do more like rap rock kind of style of music. It's really good. They're actually their music is actually really, really good. Also from the same group, Rino Chihaya. Interesting fact: the illustrator for her VTuber model and her design is the same illustrator for the Atelier series, specifically the Thigh Woman. I forget what her name is, but the Atelier games. God, what is her name? You know the one I'm talking about, right? If you've seen the Atelier games from a while back, where it was the girl with the brown hair and she had like massive thighs, and everyone would always like obsess over her. I forget which one it is, but yes, same illustrator, and yes, also gave her massive thighs. So we like consistency. Oh, and Chloe. Then we have Sakamata Chloe. Chloe is an Orca VTuber, or was. She currently is not a part of Hololive. She is an affiliate, but she is not an active member. So she's still included in like all the media and whatnot, but she's not like actively a part of Hololive, which is like a whole other thing. But that's cute. Look at that. And that's our first pack. Wow. Can't believe we got Raura right off the bat. Like my friend, after we went to the show, she literally became his number one, like immediately. He was so enamored with her. Good first pack. Good. You know what? A good draw. Let's see if we could get, because you're guaranteed something good in like every box. Like you're always guaranteed like some kind of UR, I believe. Okay. Pack 2. Kira Vivi. Vivi is another member of Flowglow. Whose illustrator, fun fact, this is because I love looking into who illustrates a lot of these characters. Illustrator is a very famous ecchi illustrator who has done a lot of if you've been on Twitter before, they do a lot of like these smaller comics about like demon girls, and they're very like risque kind of thing. Not full on like like porn stuff, but like definitely leaning towards the more like edgy stuff. And very good artist. I like them a lot. And then Sue, also from the same group. Look at that. I'm pretty sure I've gotten like almost all of Flogo. I'm missing one member. But the art, again, look at the art, man. It's so good. Oh, and then there's Pecora. There's Hideo Kojima's favorite VTuber. Look at her. Norman Reedus vaguely knows who she is. Ah, and this is again somebody else's fan mascot. Little Knights. Cute. Oh wow. And then a double rare of Vivi. This is a really, really nice card. Holy hell. This art is also really, really good. What the hell? It tells you right there at the bottom too. Like it says it in very small. Unfortunately, I cannot read katakana, but the illustrator's name is at the bottom of the card. So that's really cool. That is a really nice card. I like it. I'm gonna put that over to the side. Oh, it's Bay. Hako's Bales. So this is Bay from Hololive English Promise. Australian, the only Australian member of Hololive currently. You would notice if you ever see her streams and hear her talk, she has a very thick Australian accent. This is and she's also one of their best dancers. 100%. If you ever go to one of their concerts and you see her on stage, she's always busting it down. It's crazy. Anyways, that's cool. And she's designed by her design is by Mika Picasso, who is an artist that I've talked about many a time before on my stream and on my YouTube channel. So I think I did a whole video on Mika Picasso's style. So you could go watch that. That video is like 3 years old now, but I still like it. Anyways, there's that. Then there's Flowglow again, the whole group. The only one we haven't pulled is her. Oh. This is a double rare. No, it's just a rare of Ririka. With like a slight foil on it. Nice art. It's kind of interesting. The cardstock is noticeably thicker for some of these too. All right, fun second pack. Nothing too outstanding. I will be amazed if like I somehow get the signature card in one of these. Like it's terribly, the rate of it is so goddamn low. But it'd be neat to get at least one, you know. Oh, I found some really good art right away. So Iroha in an alt art. This art is so beautiful. What the hell? Look at that. That is some amazing, amazing artwork on that. She's got like a magical girl motif going on. That's really cool. All right. Then another Sue. I do like that it's not just the same art repeated for every girl. It's like there's different iterations of the artworks. It makes it so like it's more unique looking. Oh, and then another Bay in like her RPG adventurer attire. That's really fun. And then another Bay. Wow, this is a very Bay-centric pack. And this is her actual like 3D model. So this shows you like what their 3D models actually look like. These are like the more basic cards. You find a lot of them in these packs. That's cool though. Ah, and then there's Nico. So this was the last member of Flowglow that we had not seen yet. I've drawn Nico before. She is awesome. I love her design so much. Probably one of my favorite designs in all of Hololive. And she also has an amazing voice. Cool. I'm gonna put that over here. And then there's Marin. If you've been anywhere near VTuber anything, you've seen Marin before. This card feels borderline inappropriate to show on Twitch, but that's Matsuri. She's known for having very risque outfits. We're gonna move right past that one. Anyways, Roboco. That's a really nice Roboco card. This is really nice card, and it is a rare. Oh god, the autofocus is going crazy. Roboco is known for doing a lot of FPS games and stuff. She actually streams on Twitch as well. She's probably one of the only Hololive members that streams regularly on Twitch, which is cool. And I love her design. She has a really nice voice too. You're gonna hear me say that about a lot of these girls, is that they all have really nice singing voices, which is true, they do. Anyways, that's really cool. Nice pack. Oh, this one is different. Nice. I'm sorry, I know this means nothing to most people who know nothing about Hololive, but we get to admire at least really cool card art. Do they come with promo packs? Not these. You only get promo packs for participating in you only get promo packs for participating in the games. So like in like actual like tournaments and stuff. That's when you get promo packs. All right. Sipping mayonnaise. That is not a euphemism. This is not a euphemism for anything. This girl legit just like drinks mayonnaise. Yeah. It's interesting. That one funny clip animation before, yeah. Oh, this is really cute. Roboco art. I like this one. Also, that's her fans. That's what her fans look like. So every girl is much like I designed design for the Crowlings. Every Hololive girl has like a design for their fans. I was like, hey Rock, welcome. Do you like the new HD camera? Do you like how HD it is? Is she a robot VTuber? She is a robot, yes. That's why her name is Roboco. Oh, another Nico card. So now we got a dupe. Another mascot. Poyoyo. Couldn't notice in my 480p stream. Hold up. I'm gonna kill you. Another Nico, but with different art. So here you can see more of what her full design looks like. There's something about the round orange glasses. I love it. Her design is so peak. What an amazing design. Yo, that's some good card art. What the hell? I've never seen this art before. That's crazy. Gym rat. That's some good art right there. I like that one. Fingers. There she is. Look at her. So innocent. This is part of Korone's thing. She says yubi yubi, which is just Japanese for fingers. Oh. And then Ayame rare. Look at that. Nice slight foil effect. Nothing crazy out of this pack, but that's really good Ayame art. She's also a fan favorite. A lot of Japanese viewers really like Ayame. She doesn't stream that often, but when she does, she tends to get a lot of views. All right. We're almost halfway through this box. Like I said, this is not going to be as long as the magic ones. It's just how it goes. And Riona again, this time with alt art. You can see how different the girls look depending on who's drawing them, but like they get the same, like they overall the visual design is always the same, but I like this art a lot. There's Riona. Workout. This is Lammy. She's a frost elf. Legitimately, that's what she is. And she's also an alcoholic. Oh, well, look who it is. Damn, I've never seen this Callie art before. It's her. It's the Grim Reaper. This is really good art though, I will say. Let's say who the illustrator is. It's Chien. Those are some nice hip bones. Yeah, this illustrator went crazy on this one. This is really nice. Oh, there she is. There she is with just her regular look. Have confidence. Whoa! Speaking of have confidence, that foil is crazy. It's like a flame foil. Look at that. Whoa. You see that, chat? That's crazy. That's a really nice card. That's a double rare. Nice. All right. Whoa. Speaking of good art. So this is one of the ID members, the Indonesian members. This is Muna Hoshinova. Amazing singing voice. And this is some beautiful card art. She did a song not too long ago that was a kind of send up to like pop punk / like emo kind of sounding, like a very Avril Lavigne coded music, and it was really nice. All right. Coyote. She is a coyote girl who is a mad scientist. Oh, and then there's the normal version of that Raura card. Nice. And there you go. Okay. And one more from this stack, and then we're halfway done with these. Again, like I said, not many. You know, if I would have probably got 2 boxes, to be honest, if I had a little bit more to spend, just because you go through these really fast. Oh, right off the bat. Right off the bat, we have a Raura. Look at her. Mamma mia. So she's Italian, and that's sort of an ongoing thing, is that she they give her Italian sayings, and she even does the finger thing as well. But yeah, there's Raura. My friends Oshi. Munabito. These are Muna's mascots. Cute. Subaru. There is a lot of clips of her as well. Subaru is a very funny VTuber. When you hear her voice, you would not expect that voice to come out of this face. Yeah, Shuba. Exactly. Deceptively deep voice. One of the funniest laughs and screams in all of Hololive. Yes. I love Subaru. Subaru is actually one of the most entertaining people, like, ever. I also love her design. It's very simple. Robosur. These are Robocos fans. Very cute. They're just like walking batteries. And I saw something shiny behind it. What could it be? Oh, and it's Matsuri. I want you to know this girl's name is literally Summer Festival. Natsuru Matsuri. Her name is literally Summer Festival. And there you go. Really cool card. Another double rare for the collection. Oh, and then these are all Hololive Indonesia Generation 1 girls. So we have Moon in the middle, we have Risu, and we have Iofi. They're all meant to be like aliens and cryptids. That's sort of the theme behind their generation. But yeah, cute. And then Iroha with this is very nice art. Wow. This is very good art. Respectfully. And then Luna. Fun fact about this VTuber, she drives a Harley Davidson. I'm not even kidding. That's like she is one of the most deceptive VTubers out there, because her whole gimmick is that she's supposed to be this very cutesy, innocent girl, but she does like a bunch of extreme like things, like drive like a just full on chopper, insane. But yeah, that's Luna. Also very good at the piano. All right, halfway through. Now for the next half. Let's see if we get anything crazy. Ah, here's Vivi drawn by her actual illustrator. So her illustrator is, it says right here, Nanko. So Nanko is her illustrator, and if you go and follow Nanko on Twitter, you will see a lot of really good art and a lot of very ecchi stuff. But they are an extremely good artist, and I was so happy to see them like actually get the chance to design a VTuber for Hololive, because you know usually what happens is I find illustrators through Hololive, but in this case it was somebody I was already follow. What was their name so I can avoid them? Hold on, let me actually link them, because I think it's important to let's see. Nanko. Okay. Go follow at your own risk. There are risque art there, but you've probably seen this artist's art around before. They draw a lot of boob. I'll tell you that much. They draw a lot of boob, but they're a very good artist. But yeah, that's her illustrator. Very good art. There's Chihaya again. There's Riona. Very good foreshortening on this art. I like it. Nothing I recognize, but looks dope. I've been following this artist for years, so I just, you know. Very nice Riona art card. There's Lammy. Or Whammy, as people like to call her. And her full design. Whoa, that's a really nice Riona card. Putting the foil on the chains is a really nice touch. A lot of double rares in this. I'm noticing. That's really good though. I like that a lot. Save that one, and then another Subaru, and another one of her outfits. Shuba. Cute. Oh, and then there's Subaru and Watame. She was at the concert that I went to. She was actually performing. It was really good. Oh, and then another Subaru. Look at that, in her idol outfit. Cute. And then, is that it? Oh, that's the last one. Oh, that's it. Okay. Nothing too crazy so far. That router right off rip was kind of insane. Let's hope that our luck doesn't just end there, because I would like to get at least something really cool in this. Not that those aren't cool, but like, you know, something crazy, something wacky for the content. You know what I mean? Right. There's some Subaru fans. Ducks. And Muna. This is a screenshot from one of her music videos, I believe. Really cool, really dramatic, very anime. Oh, nice. Another router card. This artist is, I don't know how to say their fucking username, but this artist is has done a lot of stuff for like Capcom. This pink girl's in here a lot. She is a part of the set. So some girls are specifically a part of the set. The reason why I got the set and my friend got the set is because he's a big fan of her. So, you know, was hoping to like get some Rauta cards. I'll probably, I don't know if he has this one, so I'll probably send this one his way. But this is another artist that I've been following for years, and he actually got a chance to draw a lot of promo art for her unit, Justice. And I was really happy to see that because this artist also draws a lot of Capcom stuff. So I can link them. Hold on, let me link them because they've submitted for the for the whatchamacallit, the Street Fighter 6 stuff before. And they also have drawn a lot of like good Guilty Gear art as well. You've probably seen their art around. But here, I'll just link some of their Street Fighter art. But this is the caliber of artists that they're getting for these things. This is why I really like these cards, because the artists that they get are all artists that I really like. So, yeah, there you go. Good Rauta. I'll save this for my friend just in case. There's another Rauta drawing stream. That's what I do. That's my thing. Yes, I forgot to mention, Rauta is also an artist. So if you check out her channel, you'll see some art streams that she's done. She's a very, very, very good artist. I love her art a lot. And then Muna. Oh, that's very cute Muna art. Look at that. It's very pretty. And Ayame wearing like a workout clothes. Cute. And then another Roboco. Very cute. I've pulled the German woman. This is the German woman, Cecilia Immelgreen. That's not even a joke. She is actually a German VTuber who is an automaton. Her design is very, very, very good. I like Cecilia a lot. She's very funny. Probably one of the more creative like streamers out there. Definitely. I recommend her. She's one of the biggest haters in the world. But it makes her funny. But yeah, this is Cecilia Immelgreen. And that's the last card of this set. I forgot that she was in this as well. What does she hate? A little bit of everything. She has compilations of her talking about things she hates. So much so that her nickname is Immer Hater. Another Roboco-san. Very good art. Very, very good art. Window Chihaya. Also very good. She's got the drive impact. She's got the drive rush green behind her. She's mid drive rush. That's what the green implies behind her. Ayame in swimsuit in summer clothes. I don't know what this art. I don't know why the vibe feels very early 2000s anime. Like this looks like promo art you would have seen on like MySpace or like Photo Bucket back in like 2003. I don't know why. It's something about the way this is shaded and like framed. It gives the feel, yeah. For you, lots of love. She's giving you a Valentine's. Look at that. Usable only one per turn. Only love one per turn. Oh, that's a cute card. She's going to confess her love for you right before summer break. Look at her. Cute. Favorite PC. This is Polka. This is Omaru Polka. She is a literal clown. Not even kidding. That's her thing. She is a clown. And she acts like one too. She's very funny. She's one of my favorites. She also had a very shitty PC for the longest time. All right. And then this is HoloX. They are supposed to be a group of villains, essentially, or a secret society. This one in the middle is very famous. You would have seen her somewhere before. That's Laplace. She sucks at Street Fighter. Anyways. And then Anya. This is another one of the Indonesia members. She is supposed to be a legendary weapon. That is her theme. But she also has a very unique design. I like her design a lot, actually. All right. We are almost done. We're breezing through this. It kind of begs the question, like, man, Magic really gives you a shit ton in one box. Forget that Anya is Holo ID. Well, she is now being mistaken for Holo EN as well because of how often she does streams with the EN members. Cute stadium jacket. Well, that just says it all itself, huh? You can attach a cute stadium jacket to your girl. Cute. Matsuri again. The gamer girl card. This is the most gamer girl-ass card art I've ever seen. The pink controller. Amazing. All right, what do we got? Whoa! Now that might be too spicy for Twitch.tv. You go to the onsen with Ayame. And there's Roboco. So this is what Roboco's actual design looks like. You know, like her normal design. She also is one of the few girls who does not have a live 2D model. She only has 3D models. Because she is from Generation 0, officially the first generation. And we got a full art. We got a full art of that Anya card. Wow, that's actually really nice art too. This isn't what she usually looks like, by the way. Like, this card completely changes what she looks like. But this art is really, really good. Nice. The foil is really nice on this one too. Really nice Anya card. Another Riona. I feel like the color of her hair keeps changing every illustration. It's going from gray to white to now like a bluish white. Like a silver. There's Radin. Another amazing design. Oh, wow. That's a really nice Chloe card. That's really nice. Oh, I wish this one was actually foil too. It's like kind of foil, but not like the full-on foil. But this is a really nice card. Keep that one there too. All right, I think only got 2 more packs. Oh boy, not looking too crazy in this one at the very least. Yeah, I don't think I'm getting a signature in this, but at least it was fun to pull these. Maybe I might get another one of these boxes soon, just for funsies, but we'll see. Oh, another Kogane Nico. Cute. Matsuri-su. So these are Matsuri's fans. They're little chipmunks or squirrels. I forget what they're supposed to be. I think they're squirrels, right? Whoa! Wait, is this drawn by Hyde? It is drawn by Hyde. I know this artist. This is a really fucking sick looking card. Like I said, your art for these girls and the cards vary so fucking wildly. This is an artist I've been following for years. Hyde is very well known within the Hololive art community. Insane art. Insane art. He really likes Fubuki. If you go on his thing, he draws a lot of Fubuki. This is a really good Muno card. And then there's regular. Okay, the dichotomy. So this is the art of her, and this is what she actually looks like, by the way. So you can get that tonal whiplash. That's amazing. Okay. Oh, look at that. Have confidence. Kogane Nico. Very good. This is her official art. I've seen this before. This is like promo art. Very nice. Oh! Another Rauda. Cute. Gonna save that. And another Coyote. So far, I will say, I'm glad that there has not been many dupes. It's just been like individuals. All right, last pack. Last pack. See if there's anything special in here. Again, like I said, I wasn't expecting anything crazy. So, you know, I pulled that Rauda right at the beginning, and I don't know if my friend has that one. So if he doesn't, I will give it to him. Speaking of Rauda, here's her fans, the Chatino. She designed them herself, which I think is really impressive because it's hard to design mascots, but she's really good at it. Very cute. Oh, that's a cute Luna card. Yo! I really like this Bay art. This is from like years ago that Mika Picasso drew this. This was from one of her birthdays, like pieces of merch. It's a really nice piece of art. Nice, nice. There's Luna. Can I eat it? Yes, you can eat it. Very cute Luna card. Alright. Wow. Second very cute Luna card. And that was our foil. Luna pack, apparently. There you go. That was our double rare. And then an Iroha afterwards. And another. This really was the Luna pack. All the Luna cards, apparently. And then last card. What is it? Matsuri. This is the most, like, reserved she's looked in this set so far. Like, this is the most conservatively dressed she's been in this entire set. That's crazy. But there's Matsuri. And there you go. And that was it. Nothing too crazy in this set that I got. The craziest thing I got was this. This immediately. Hold on, I have to see if my friend pulled this too. Let me double check real quick. He posted it in the group chat what he pulled, so let's see if he has this one. Ah! Hold on. He does not have this one, actually. Oh, wow. He doesn't have this one. So I did pull one router that he does not. I actually probably pulled several routers that he doesn't have. I will let him know about that. But yeah, there you go. This was probably the big pull from this pack so far. And I'm probably going to end up giving this to my friend. I feel like I want to get another one of these boxes, though, because this is, like, this set has a lot of really nice cards. So there's that Rauda, there's that Chloe. This Anya card, oh man, this is a really, really nice card. It's so good. And the regular one, so you can see the side-by-side comparison. Iroha, Cecilia, more Rauda, Riona, Matsuri, Tsu. This was also really cool. Roboco. Nico, and then this VV as well. So yeah, if for anybody who's curious about pull rates in these cards, in these sets, like I said, the signature card, which is like the one that goes for the most in these sets, they are like 1 in every 100 boxes. So they are very. I would not recommend people go crazy on trying to like pull too many. I mean, the boxes themselves are relatively like cheap, right? If you're a big enough fan, I think it's worth it. But like, don't go too crazy on them. I think the set I'm waiting for is a set that's out in Japan right now, which is the Full Moko set, because that one does have a signature card for Ina, and that's when that comes out. Oh boy, I'm ripping the Band-Aid off. I'm buying a bunch of boxes of that, and we're going for a bit until I get something. But yeah, you'd be surprised. I'm gonna be honest. Even if you're not into this, like the Hololive in particular, the Hololive. Look at me. I'm gonna sleeve this on you. By the way, this is a really good card. Even if you're not into Hololive in particular, like if you go online and look at the prices for some of these cards, it's insane. It is insane. Some of these full arts go for like $200. Like, it's crazy. Actually, you know what? Why don't we check out what are the prices on some of these? Not that I would sell them, but I want to see. I want to see. I want to see. I want to see what some of these go for. Oh wow! So that the foil version of that Korone, which was one of the first cards I pulled. This one goes for like $14 on its own. Interesting. I'm trying to see what else. Yeah, so the signature card, by the way, the signature card for Raura goes for $400. The signature card for the other girls go for about 500 to 250. Insane. Like I said, these are some like really sought after cards. So that Chloe card I pulled is worth $12. The Cecilia card is worth 11. The Iroha card, the foil Iroha card that I pulled is worth this one. This one is worth $11. Interesting. Also, hey Dirgly. Long time no fart. The Anya. So this Anya is worth $8 on its own. The Buzz Rauda full art is worth $8 as well. Damn, there's a lot of really good cards in this set, actually. That Cali card with their hip bones out is like worth $6. Dude, the pricing on these cards is insane. Wow. And it's crazy because the box itself is like $40. So you can actually get a decent amount of these and like probably pull something good, especially because this set literally just came out in the US. You know, I might end up getting another box just because I want to see. But also, like, the other reason is that I actually do want to try and learn this card game. Like, it seems like it's pretty fun from what I've heard. There's like a growing community of people playing it. So I'm like, I want to see. And there's like a card shop near me that actually has like a community for it. So, you know, I want to see like, okay, how does one get into this? How does one start like, you know, doing the Hololive card game? So that might be something I look into more in the future. Just because I like Magic. I do like Magic a lot. But I like to, you know, kind of see what else there is out there. And One Piece is a nightmare. Pokemon is a bigger nightmare. And I try to get into Digimon, but also the moment that Digimon started coming out, those cards started going for like way too much fucking money. So I'm like, yeah, I think I'm good on that. Um, but these seem way more affordable. Again, this amazing art. These seem way more affordable. A lot. These, you know, Digimon has cards. Digimon does have an official card game. It's actually somewhat popular. Yeah. The Chloe. Also, what do you guys think of my camera? Really nice, huh? That you can actually see cards and see the text on them and see what they look like. Isn't that nice? Isn't it great that my camera isn't at fucking 2p? at 240p? You can actually see all this stuff. Isn't that great? You gotta love it. But yeah, Digiman has a card game. Digimon has a card game. Gundam has a card game. It's actually getting real popular. Can you give us the finger in perfect visual quality? Like that? Like that finger? All right. I'll just put these back in the box just for storage purposes. I'll probably get this routed to my friend as soon as I can. Hey, if you guys want to support my card opening addiction and want more streams like this, you can go over to my coffee, donate a few bucks, and help me out. That wasn't an endorsement. I'm just saying the option is there. I would open commissions, but I'm not sure if I have the time to really be doing commissions right now. Glad I don't have Prime anymore. You have to subscribe to me with your own real money? Thank you, I appreciate it. Well, that was Ayakashi Vermilion. That was one box that we opened. I will probably try and get more boxes in the future. And maybe open him. You get my for real money and not Bezos money. I already get paid in Bezos money, all right? I don't need more Bezos money. It means nothing to me. That's not true. It actually does mean something to me because it is money. So, yeah, I might get another one of those boxes. Maybe two. We'll see. Anyways, so that was only part one of this stream. I said this stream was going to be interesting because part of it is also testing the webcam, the quality of it. Ooh, look at how it zooms into my pores. Right? You know, so we get this HD quality and you can see stuff and whatnot. But the other part of this was that I have art books, right? You guys, if you follow me, you like artists, you like art, you like when people do a little doodly do on a thing, right? So I have some art books that I've been, you know, that I've been wanting to talk about. I'm not going to talk about too many. I'm probably going to focus on just one, but I'm going to show off some that I'm planning on doing stuff in the future. So this is a smaller one, so it'll be easier to showcase on here. So one series that I really enjoy and I've enjoyed for many years is Dungeon Meshi, right? And this is oh wait, hold on. So I said for this segment I am not going to have my VTuber on the screen. So bye-bye VTuber. We are just going full on Crow voiceover. We are going full on Crow voiceover for this. So, sorry, no VTuber, but this is all about the art and all about the art book, so we want to have as much screen space as possible for this. Don't say MeTuber. I'll kill you. Anyways, so one of my favorite series in the past, like, 10 years has been Delicious in Dungeon, or Dungeon Meshi, right? And these are books that had come out a while back in Japanese, but we finally have English versions of these that came out about like 2 months ago, I want to say, maybe 3 months ago. If you were a fan of the anime, you should definitely check out the manga. But something interesting that I really enjoy is that Ryoko Kui did this guide, this world guide that also doubles as supplemental art book. So there's this one, which is the world guide, and has like a lot of good world building fantasy stuff in it. There's also, let me get up real quick. Daydream Hour, Doodles by Ryoko Kui. Now, this book in particular, I always recommend these kind of books. And why I recommend them is because instead of focusing on just a finished illustration, what these books do is show you the doodle process or the iterative process of a lot of like, mangaka. In my old Yo-Yo Shinari video, you saw that I shared one of his books, which was a sketchbook. It was just like all incidental sketches he did in between production work that he drew on like animation paper, right? And this is little doodles by Ryoko Kui, like sketches and stuff revolving around, Dungeon Meshi and little incidental things in it, right? And we're gonna go through this a little bit first. I'm not gonna show off the entirety of it because the whole point of this is that I want to get people to go out and actually buy these art books and like study them if you're an artist, or just, if you're a fan, to enjoy the quality of the work. But if you're an artist, to study them, because there's so much material in this that will help you, when it comes to getting ideas for yourself and also borrowing techniques. So, right off the bat with these books, you have like a foreword by the artists themselves, and then you have going into all the sketches, and the cool thing about this is that it kind of expands into multiple places, and you can see, as far as I know, Ryoko Kui believe they do a lot of their art digitally, right? And you can kind of see that here. There's a lot of digital, like like kind of sketch work going on here, and my computer dumber, did it freeze? I am showing all good on my end. It might just be you, question. But you're seeing a lot of these very simple like sketches that are like, you might be wondering, it's like, okay, well, what is the point of all these, right? And it's character interactions, which is important if you're making a story that's extremely character driven, right? Like Dungeon Meshi. These stories revolve around how you perceive the characters, how the characters interact with each other, and the relationships that tie into them. So you can see the way that some characters kind of, treat a certain character. For example, this character is supposed to be a noble. So he has people waiting on him. He has people watching him delivering stuff and whatnot. And, the way he interacts with people who are a little bit more not as, respectful as the others and whatnot, or antagonistic. And it's something that I feel like if you are somebody writing a story with many characters, you need to pay attention to, because you need to show off like, how are these characters going to interact in this specific situation? How are these characters going to interact with these specific other characters? Do they like these characters? Do they hate them? Do they feel indifferent towards them? Are they a little grumpy at them? Something like that. And it's really important because it helps you build upon that. Character interaction are important. And the more you're able to kind of flesh that out beforehand, or as you're going, the more, the better it is for you as like a writer or as like a storyteller, especially if you're making something extremely character driven, right? And because a lot of, Dungeon Meshi is based off like D&D parties, it's very easy to, ignore certain characters and I flesh them out as much. But Ryoko Kui does a very good job at presenting the characters in a simple fashion and then fleshing them out in a way where they feel very real. This artwork is also one of my favorites. I remember seeing this like a long time ago, when the manga was first coming out, of all the characters with their outfits swapped. It's very good, and it also shows it shows a lot of character. It shows a lot of the way that they kind of, their personalities shine, right? You see how Marcel is like not too confident with like the more barbarian type armor. You see Senshi like looking a little bit like kind of just like, exposed because he's not wearing his usual like big armor. You see Chilchuck looking just feeling embarrassed because this stuff does not suit him at all. And then you have Fallon and Laos who just feel okay because they're kind of indifferent to whatever they're wearing. You know, they're just very confident in themselves. And I think that that shows a lot about their personality. But you have like a lot of things like this in these books where characters' outfits get swapped. You know, things like, oh, what's a good page? Things like this page where you're seeing, this is a really cool one that I like that Ryoko Kui does, which is characters, but they're different fantasy races within the same world. So like Fallon as a human, Fallon as an elf, Fallon as a halfling, and then as a dwarf and a gnome, you know? And you can see all the characters in the different ways that they look, depending on, like, you know, what they would be. And it's really cool for showing, like, diversity or how you would, you know, interpret one character in many ways. Like, this one is very, you know, I forget what the character's name is, but this dwarf character, you never see her eyes during the actual, well, you do see her eyes every once in a while, but her face is mostly hidden by her hair, and this is one of the few times you actually get to see what her eyes look like, you know? And I think that that's really interesting. But yeah, and you got a lot of like incidental stuff, like how would kobolds look like without their armor, like full body. Um, Characters with different hairstyles, like shorter hair, characters with longer hair who have shorter hair, things like that. This is, I feel, something that is so important to artists because we often get stuck in this rut, right? We often get stuck drawing the same things over and over again, and we get you know, stiff. We get complacent in that, and then we often feel burnt out because we're not doing anything different. But I think it's important to make these little incidental doodles that are just fun, that are just character interactions, that are just little gags, that are just, you know, whatever, because it helps us kind of loosen up. It helps us keep the story alive and keep it interesting. So this book is definitely one that I recommend to people who want to have that kind of, you know, interaction. And here's characters in their like underwear. Essentially, what would the fantasy underwear look like? And I think it's really interesting. One of my favorite illustrations of Fallon. 100%. Ryoko Kui knows how to draw beautiful women. There you go. And then here's the dudes too. If you wanted to get some like anatomy studies and some rendering and whatnot, depending on like, you know, what you're going for. And these kind of explorations are super important because they also allow you to have like a pool to like a kind of box to pull from if you feel like you're stumped. Like if you draw multiple outfits, it's just doodles for fun, like go on Pinterest or whatever, and then you pull from them and then put characters in them. It allows you to have this kind of like, you know, this carousel in your mind of things you can pull from, or look through archives or sketches that you made and be like, oh, I did draw them in this outfit, maybe I can use this outfit for a different part or something inspired by that, you know. And it's fun. And it also, stuff like this where you're seeing them in more simplified forms, also helps you understand the shape language of each character as well. So that when you're drawing them in simple ways, especially if you're doing something like a comic, you can get the idea of which character you're drawing just based off the shapes of them, you know? It feels like a well-rounded way of creating. It's a fun way of creating. Well-roundedness comes from just fun, you know? Because you need to truly enjoy what you're making in order to bring its full potential forward. You need to be able to say, what would my characters look like if they were wearing Halloween costumes? What would they dress up as? You know, would they dress up as monsters from within the dungeon? Okay, what monsters would they be and why? You know, like, you know, it's a fun exploration onto like more to the characters and how you can have fun with them, you know. Like I said, it keeps things endlessly interesting, and it always brings you back so that you don't experience burnout as much. And trust me, I've fallen into that pitfall before as well. But sometimes you got to do stuff like this. It helps. It also, you know, it makes people a little bit more interested in your character as well when you're able to flesh them out more like this. There's a whole sequence of how does Marcel put on some winter clothing? And there you go. Or things like this. Again, back to the shape language. What do you do if you decide to simplify all the characters into much more simpler shapes? And you get this, right? It's so fun. But Ryoko Kui in general is a master at this sort of stuff. And you could tell that there's years and years of knowledge of just skill being built up over time, you know, like this adoration for fantasy, the works of not just like, you know, Japanese fantasy, but a lot of Western fantasy, especially. I believe one of their inspirations was things like wizardry and like what was the other one? It was wizardry, it was D&D, it was, you know, several other like older fantasy things, because you know, getting like a hand on Western fantasy stuff in Japan was actually a lot harder than people would think. So they had to make do with a lot of like, you know, iterations of things, like how D&D became, you know, Record of Lotus War and stuff like that. You know, it was just different. And so it was more, I guess, appealing to them to see this type of fantasy. And you can tell that there is a just general fondness for this type of, you know, not only this, but just in general portrayals of people in just everyday scenarios. Like Ryokokui has this fondness for just like showing characters off in like a normal day-to-day kind of, you know, setting. And making these fun little comics as well. Like I said, not everything needs to be this major thing. Sometimes it could just be a little comic you made for fun, show characters interacting, what it would be like if they win a hot pot, things like that. But yeah, that is Daydream Hour. I recommend this 100% for any artist out there who feels like they struggle with doodling or just having these little fun things to draw in the downtime in between like major art pieces. It's okay to doodle in the margins of your work, and it's actually encouraged. And then when you want to actually start breaking things down in a more serious way, you go to this, which is the Adventurer's Bible. And what this is, at first you would look at it and be like, oh, what even is this, right? This is, for all intents and purposes, more supplemental material on the world, but more of a guide as to how the world works. So if you're building a fantasy world or a fantasy setting and you're like, okay, let me make a character profile. What is their preference? What is their backstory? Similar to like a D&D background, like a character sheet, that's what you're making here with these characters, right? And it especially works in a fantasy setting. And here you have even the character relationship web and whatnot, and how they all like interact. So you chronicle you chronicle the character and their backstory, their likes, their dislikes, and stuff like that, and you start building from there, right? And then further down, once you get past all the character stuff, you have things like objects in the world, which is a lot of artists, especially very character artists, you're not really fond of drawing, you know, rooms and like lots of like objects and whatnot, but they also help to flesh out characters' backgrounds, their habits, their environments, where they grew up in, where they live, how do they live, you know, like how do their rooms look and whatnot. And it gives you a lot of insight onto the character themselves. You know, are they somebody who's very tidy and like particular about their room? Are they somebody who can live a very simple life? You know, are they somebody who, you know, enjoy just having a lot of stuff around them? And it helps you paint an image of the person in your mind, right? Or if people are sharing a space, like what does it look like when they're sharing a space and whatnot, and little breakdowns of all that stuff, little notes. And then, hey, let's get into the actual monsters. What are they like? What is the breakdown of these creatures and what they do and whatnot? Like, when you're building a fantasy world, it really helps a lot to be able to kind of go through like a lot of these and be like, what does that chimera look like? What is like what is going on here? What is the makeup, the biology of it? And having this sort of, almost like a nature documentary style representation of things. And I recommend this book in particular for that kind of stuff because it really helps you kind of organize things, or, in a sense, it is like a Bible. And I think that if you are writing a very big, because a lot of people, I'm going to be real, a lot of artists love creating worlds and lore and stuff like that for their stories, and so they'll often get carried away and will write like a billion things or create a bunch of monsters or a bunch of scenarios and whatnot, and will often lose track of it. And I think it's important to create a book that is like a Bible for you, that is like, imagine if you were in the world yourself, going through these adventures, going through these like fantasy settings, and kind of chronicling the monsters, their habitats, their habits, their eating habits, and stuff like that. Now, do you always have to go that in depth? No, you can make it very simple. You can definitely be very like, very concise with it. But I think it's important to be able to have like a frame of reference for when you want to go back to it and whatnot. Because a lot of the time, the pitfall that a lot of artists, storytellers, mangaka, and comic artists fall into is that they've been writing a series for so long that they forget some things that happen, and when they have to go back and like reference it, they realize that they've written themselves into a corner. So it's good to have this sort of way to kind of go back and be a little bit more planned for these sort of things. Now, not saying that you can't be spontaneous and that there isn't like some merit in that, but at the same time, I think it's important to have I think it's very important to have a reference for these things as time goes on. So, not as necessary, but I think something that helps, especially if you are writing a very, very complicated and complex story with many characters, is to have a sort of Bible sort of thing to kind of, reference whenever you want to, expand on certain things, like the culture of a certain people or whatnot within your fantasy story. Yeah, it's really useful. So that's my recommendation, especially if you are a big fan of Delicious in Dungeon, to check out this one. I would show you more of this, but there are spoilers in this book for the main series, so if you haven't caught up, be careful about this one. This one, less so, it has spoilers in it, but it does have doodles of characters that probably have not shown up in the anime yet, as of, me doing this showcase. But if you don't mind that and just want to see more of these cool art and these cool characters, I recommend these two books, and that's one of my little art book recommendations. These are not quite on the same level as the other art books that I usually show off, but I think they're important. Little books like these help out a lot, and I usually have them on my desk or somewhere nearby that I can reference them whenever I feel like I'm stuck, So yeah. Ugh. If you got any questions about any of this, please feel free to ask or to, whatever. I'm not. I feel like I'm setting this up to be sort of like a classroom sort of environment, but it's more of just like me kind of sharing why I like these books in particular and how they're helpful. Because oftentimes I have to remind myself why I bought these books, not just because I think they're cool, but also why in particular I was drawn to them and why I wanted to keep going back to them. And I think it's important to always kind of go back, because you could go online and you could Google stuff and you can find images, but I think it's also really cool to have a physical, like a physical version of the thing that you can cross-reference, especially in this day and age where it's like it's harder to find like actual authentic pieces of work by creators because of the onslaught of like slop online. So it's like, having the actual physical media here that I can constantly reference, I think is super cool. You know what I mean? If it was a classroom setting, would have made a PowerPoint with bullet points to accompany this. Well, I mean, that's usually how my YouTube videos are, but for the most part, this is me kind of improvising and giving you like my just honest feelings about why I like these books. I could give you like I try to be as technical as possible into why some of these books would benefit you, but I think what's important is more of just what drew me to them, and maybe that'll be the same reason you got drawn to it, right? And in these cases, I hope that anything I explained in terms of that, even if you're not an artist or like whatever, if you're a storyteller and you just want to be able to write more interesting stories, kind of write little incidental scenarios of your characters and whatnot, or if you're somebody who wants to make like a D&D campaign and wants to make it somewhat interesting and a little bit more in depth than just something like, everybody got dysentery in the tavern or something, and you want to expand on it and like make it a little bit more fun. I think having these kind of books or these kind of, representations of those kind of fantasy settings is really good and helpful and just fun, But as an artist, I think that this is beneficial to people who get kind of stuck creatively and don't know what to do a lot of the time. So, doodle. Doodle often. Doodle for fun. Doodle for yourself. Doodle because it makes you happy. So yeah, that is my recommendation. Do want to get this book when I can find the time. Yeah. This book is not too expensive either, and it's very nice, very good quality. It's got this good like jacket here that you can see, and there's even doodles underneath the jacket and whatnot. Very, very good. This book had been out. I actually have I unironically do have the Japanese version of this because I bought it years ago. Hold on. So much older version of this book. This is the Japanese version that I bought years ago because this book had been around for a while. So it's the same. They're literally the same thing. It's just that I got this years ago, and I don't know Japanese. I don't read it, so I got this one because I wanted to actually be able to read the little margins, the little notes that Ryokakui put in the pages. The only book I own is the Gurren Lagann one. Oh, you mean this one? I got a bunch of tabs on there too because I have specific pages. There's specific pages marked out. We're not gonna be looking at this one today. Listen, chances are you name something, I have an art book of it. 100%. If you name like an anime or something, I will usually have something related to it. Especially if it was something involving Gainax or Studio Trigger. Kirby, right back at you. That doesn't have an art book, unfortunately. DFF Tactics. That one's not out yet, from what I remember. But I do want that one as well. If you do want to see an art book I own that is like a little bit more on the rarer side, hold on. For all 10 of you Space Patrol Luluko fans out there, this is one of my favorite art books as well. If you were a fan of Space Patrol Luluko, you are a good friend of mine, that's for sure. Amazing art book. I love this one a lot. It's a very small one, but it's very good. Yeah. Is that just underwear? Don't worry about that. I'll talk about this art book at some point. Not right now, but I'll get around to talking about this one. Um Hold on. What other interesting art book do I have? Let me see. I have a lot. It'll take me a while to like get them out. But yeah, usually if it's Gynax or Studio Trigger related, I have something related to that. Those are like my main things. I want to get more. I want to definitely get more. I'm just out of space right now, so I'm not buying too many of them. But oh, I have this one. This one's really cool. This one is my most recent purchase. Art of Marvel vs. Capcom. Really cool. Really cool art book. We're not going to talk about this one today either. I also have this one, the Arcane art book. This is a very good one. This is a very good art book for many reasons. I will go into this another day again, but I'm just letting you guys know. Ah, yeah. The problem is I think this camera doesn't. Unfortunately, like I need to get like another kind of rig slash stand for it because it doesn't go up high enough because I need to be able to show things off. Because the other art book that I wanted to talk about was this. This is this is one of my favorite art books to have come out in a long, long time. Hold on, let me see if I can. Let me see if I can adjust this on the fly without doxing myself. There we go. Let me just. All right. Okay, that shows a little bit more in frame. But this Ultra Artworks by Kohei Horikoshi, aka the guy who made My Hero Academia. Now, a lot of people have a lot of thoughts about My Hero. A lot of people have, not great thoughts on My Hero and the way that it kind of went and whatnot. And that's not what's important here. What's important is the artistry of Kohei Horikoshi, who I consider one of the greatest in all of Shonen Jump's history. And this was an art book that he recently released for the end of My Hero Academia. And it features a lot of his promotional artwork, a lot of character concepts, and a lot of just incidental art that he made on his own online. And I think it's probably one of my favorite art books of all time from a manga creator because this dude, this is the epitome of somebody who just loves to draw. And I think that that is the key to just being a good artist. He's loving drawing. And God, let's just go through it. Let's just go through it. Even at its earliest point, My Hero had just such a distinct look to it, Kohei Horikoshi's early stuff definitely was very like, drab in terms of his shading techniques because he was still learning how to do proper values and colors at the time. And he's even mentioned this before in like interviews and whatnot. But as time went on, he got a lot better at doing, kind of value studies, working with like a lot more vibrant colors, doing painterly stuff. He's somebody who never, and it's very clearly when you look at all his stuff, he's somebody who never stopped learning. You know? Just, you know, the way that I would describe his art is just intense, but in a good way. It's intense in a way that like just screams at you, much like how a lot of comic book art does, you know? You would see things like that, like vibrant colors, very expressive characters, a jump from cartoony to just like the most tightest anatomy you've ever seen in like a manga, right? You know, crazy character like group shots. This is something Horikoshi excelled at like crazy, is these character like you know, multiple character group shots of characters just doing stuff. He loved it. Drawing your character in the white void be damned. This dude just loved putting stuff together like this. Now, this is some clear, this in particular, when I look at this particular like artwork of Deku, it's very clear that he was inspired by Mike Mignola, right? And that's something that I really appreciate about Horikoshi, is that My Hero Academia, for all it is a love letter to comic books, not just manga, but American comics, French comics, comics of all kinds. You know, there's a clear love for things like the golden age of comics with like Superman and all that stuff, and also a love for the 90s, you know, Image Comics Spawn era of things as well. And here's some more like promotional art that he did around the time. You know, you could definitely see in a lot of the way he draws Bakugo, it's like, oh yeah, there's that Image Comics like late 90s Wolverine / Spawn / like, you know, things of that nature energy there. Like I said, did not shy away from the group shots at all. He loved doing these, right? And very vibrantly loved putting them in new outfits all the time as well. Right? Hold on. Let me move something real quick just so I could get like more. There we go. And then these crazy illustrations where he just went insane with doing these mechanical designs, a bunch of details on this stuff. Look at the pouches. Look at that's some Rob Liefeld pouches right there. There was definitely an adoration for that 90s, like X-Men, Cables, pouches, and all that stuff. Horikoshi 100% was a kid who loved like 90s Spider-Man, Todd McFarlane, like, you know, Spider-Man, Jim Lee, X-Men. There is such a, like, there you go. This is the most Spawn Image Comics thing you will ever see in anything manga related, right? Like 100%. There is just an adoration for comic books, and it just shines through so much. And this art book in particular I love because it collects so many of these art pieces, which were just like these 2-page spreads in the manga, right? And gives them to you in like a full illustrative, like, you know, level. This massive page. Like, this is my hand compared to the page. Like, you get full on detail of this stuff, and it's so good, right? Cover gallery, and then these would be the covers of a lot of the manga, right? And then you see his art style kind of evolving as time goes on, like the way he draws Deku, like, you know, from the beginning, his eyes, his face's features are getting a little bit more square, less rounded, you know? Characters still have these blocky proportions, but are a little bit more full. There's something about the way that Horikoshi draws physiques that I really like. It's like these characters are heroes. They're muscular. They're fit. They're not just skinny. They're not just like supermodels. They're actually like, they got meat on the bone, you know? And I love that. And then these sort of shots like this. So good. Ensemble shots where you're showing not just the heroes, but the villains like this. Man, they really remind me of just that 90s like era of comics. And then this is the most Studio Ghibli inspired thing ever. And it's clear because if you look online, Horikoshi was doing like Ghibli fan art like way back in the day as well. There's that one RPC did a Captain America. Oh, 100%, yeah. I've seen the one. But you can see a lot of like blending of a lot of his interests going from, piece to piece, from character to character, even from the way his art style has evolved. Like, here's a more painterly look. Here's a more high contrast comic book, like illustrative look, you know? He was able of jumping from one look to another so seamlessly. My God, this is one of my favorite character ensemble shots because it's just the characters doing a bunch of silly poses that show off their personalities, you know, even the perspective, the foreshortening and everything. It's dynamic, and it makes it so like you're drawn to every character in an interesting way, and then you're drawn back to Deku, who's just standing there, right? There's something about the fact that he's the only one not doing an interesting pose that is like so appealing because it draws your eye around the entire image back to him. He's the center, he's like the focal point. You know? But then as time goes on, you see the art style starts to evolve, things start getting more experimental, things start even getting more dynamic. This angle of Bakugo, how the hell do you pull this off? Because this is already a art piece that's doing a fisheye kind of technique of the characters kind of warping, but the fact that like Bakugo is coming in at this angle from this perspective with this anatomy is insane. But you can see it. You can see the way the image curves around the characters and how they build this sort of direction, right? And then here is where the story starts getting into darker tones. I've said this a bunch before, but I feel like Horikoshi would 100% make one of the greatest like horror manga out there if he just let loose, because his dark imagery is so amazing. And then this is when he put all the characters in fantasy attire. And look at that. Look at the way he represents like all the characters and their attire, what classes they would be. They would be knights, if they would be barbarians, if they would be wizards and mages, and the way that it's so detailed. It's not just like, oh, we put some Ren Fair attire on. It's like, no, look at the stitching on the gloves, on the patterns on the vests and stuff. Like, it's insane the amount of detail that Horikoshi would go into. It's almost absurd, right? But it makes it so interesting to go back and revisit this artwork and be like, man, there's just so much there, you know? And again, this is where the character design started evolving as well. Like, you know, like Deku here is getting, again, more sharper features. His eyes are less rounded, they're more square now. There's more definition to this character as time goes on. He's getting edgier. And same can be said about a lot of the characters. Horikoshi does not shy away from sharp edges, right? Also, fun little him as Sanji for like a little like fun crossover thing. I like that. But then you can skip ahead, like, you know, this sort of artwork I love because it's something that's bygone. It's when artists used to draw their characters with just a bunch of insane gear and tech. And this again reminds me of that 90s era of like comic book characters who just had all this weird tech on them that probably didn't serve much of a purpose, but was just really cool to look at, you know? A pain to draw 100%, but like just really cool. But then as we keep going on, the art again starts evolving. You see that his colors are popping more. They're less bland, they're less, you know, muted. Now you're seeing some vibrancy in just all the hues that he's throwing into something, and it shows an artistic evolution. He said, I want to learn how to use color better, and he committed, and you can see it here. And then you get pieces like this, a continuation of the fantasy art piece, but with a more watercolor style, and you can even see his just skill popping off the page here. Look at that. Like, this looks like the cover of some JRPG, like a Tales of game, or some random RPG from the 90s that people don't remember, you know? And it's so good. Like, looking through this art book makes me really want Horikoshi to either make a horror series or make a fantasy series, because man, does he have the knack for it. And then even when he's doing like a more graphical style thing where it's just black and white or like high contrast thing, it's works so well. This is a guy who is so in his element, it's scary, you know? And he just doesn't stop. The more you go through this book, the more you see him just keep on growing and getting better, drawing anatomy a lot tighter, drawing hands amazingly. His color is looking better and better and better, adding more detail, but in places where it matters. Like, look at this. You can't tell me that this dude did not read 90s Rob Liefeld, Jim Lee, and like Todd McFarlane comics. Cause look at this. This is the most like X-Force looking stuff out there. And it's awesome. For somebody like me who grew up in this era of comic books, I think it's very cool to see somebody that was inspired by that and just going full force with it and saying, hey, you know what? Let's draw a bunch of little belts and straps and pouches on characters. What do they do? Who cares? And of course, a fan favorite, you gotta know how to draw, just a really attractive lady. And is not afraid to give her muscles. Like a lot of muscles. Man, Horikoshi loves drawing muscular women. And then also the most dynamic, like, angle you've ever seen of a character. Insane. Right? Oh, this is one of my favorites. The way the warm hues all come together, the high contrast, like, very, like, old comic book paper style to it. Just so nice. So well done. And then more of a steampunk aesthetic. Like I said, jumping from place to place to place, but still having everything fit within his character's, aesthetics is just impressive the more you look at it. Little incidental pieces kind of showing off characters and what they're doing in their off time. And it's really cool. Like this, such a stark contrast from what we were seeing at the beginning, where it seemed like he was almost afraid of using color. Now he's just throwing it everywhere and it works, you know? This book, I think, more than any mangaka's art book out there, really does show you uh, how you can evolve your style but still keep it recognizable, you know? It's about tweaking little things at a time, improving just incrementally enough that it's not jarring, right? Because a lot of the time you'll read manga and be like, oh wow, this manga looks completely different from the beginning. But with My Hero, Horikoshi did a good job of just getting better at the things he was already pretty good at, right? And so you didn't notice that change in art style as much unless you actually go back and compare like page 1 to the last page. But as you're going through it, you're just seeing not only the characters grow, but also him grow as an artist, you know? And again, these ensemble shots, like insane. I would love to see a breakdown of how long it takes him to do one of these and the process of doing them, because I would not be able to keep track of this many characters all at once, right? And especially with this many like perspectives and angles and whatnot. And again, another continuation of that fantasy series. And again, you can see how the art style evolved, how the colors still remain vibrant, how the characters' costumes have evolved too since the first time we saw them, you know? More detailed armor work, more ornamentation, more like metal objects, just in general a capacity for better detail and just like, you know, expanding on the characters' designs, but while still being true to them. Like, you can't look at this and tell me that Horikoshi was not one of the best artist that Shonen Jump had on a week-to-week basis. Like, insane that he was pumping out art like this nearly weekly. Isn't that crazy? And for all its faults, for however you feel about where the story went, you can't deny that Horikoshi really was spoiling us when it came to just the best artwork you've ever seen in a weekly shonen like manga. And the more I look at this book, the more I get to show this off, the more I really look forward to whatever he's doing next, because man, it's really gonna be something. God, one of my favorite pieces. And these are like all his Twitter artworks as well. Amazing. You could still go on his Twitter page and find all these, and it's really cool that he was just doing this for like the anime as it was coming out. And these pieces are genuinely so incredible, you know. So yes, 100%. If you were a fan of My Hero, or if you just thought, man, those character designs look so sick, I 100% recommend this book, Ultra Artworks. This is the Japanese version. I believe an English version is available already, but I got this because I couldn't wait, and I just really wanted to comb through as many of Horikoshi's works, like in full detail as possible. But I 100% recommend it. Even if you're not the biggest My Hero fan, you can't deny that this is some of the best like weekly shonen artwork out there, right? But yeah. Oh, goodness. I'm probably going to cut these segments off and turn them into like YouTube videos, maybe shorter videos, kind of talking about the art book stuff and whatnot, because I was doing that before. But I figure I would try. This was kind of an experiment to see if I could do this format live and see how I feel about it. I think definitely I want to get the framing a little better next time, so you can see more of the book and it's not like such an awkward angle. But I hope that this was something that people were interested in. You know, I know it's a little bit more of a niche kind of topic to talk about on stream, is like, hey, let's talk about art books and whatnot. But I figure since I'm like since I'm an art VTuber, like, why wouldn't I do more things related to this sort of thing? Also, this is funny because it makes him look like he has short legs. How do I adjust this? Hold on, let me, there we go. There we go. But yes, this is something that I want to do more of. I wanted to experiment on doing this live. Maybe next time I won't do a live version. Maybe next time I'll do an actual proper recorded version where I'm going through the book and whatnot. But for those of you who have not seen my videos in which I dive into art books, this is sort of the format of it. It's kind of me just talking about what's appealing about the art book and why I would recommend it to you, and why you should go check it out. Usually they're scripted. This one was more off the dome, so that's why you're getting more of an improv version of this. But if people like it, like the live version of it, I don't mind doing it again. But yeah. Did you guys like it? Did you guys enjoy this? Was this something that you guys would want to see me do more of and kind of talk about and go into detail? If so, let me know. I'll do it again. I'll find more time to do things like this. Bust out the webcam. Make that purchase worthwhile. Me like see drawing. Thank you for that profound statement, Rock. Really give me the vote of confidence that I needed. Well, if you guys do enjoy this, I'm like I said, I'm gonna probably cut this down, turn it into a YouTube video, and then just upload it, and then give people recommendations on this stuff, sort of like how I used to, and then also work on that Terry video and whatnot. But yeah, that was all I really had planned for today in terms of streaming. I wasn't planning on this being a super long stream. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I just kind of wanted to do like hand cam testing, right, to see if I could do this properly and just test how good the camera looks. So I'm probably gonna review this footage a little later, and then yeah. But thank you so much everybody for checking this out. I will be back with more this hand cam type stuff. You know, one of these days. I don't know when. I'll let you guys know ahead of time whenever I do decide to do another one of these things. And I'll find a better way to frame this so it's not like as awkward. Fighting game box or promo art and talk about it. I could 100%, but that would be more of a like less hand cam thing and more of just me talking about that kind of stuff in general. That probably wouldn't be on stream though. I'd probably just make that a video because I feel more comfortable being more scripted about that kind of stuff. But yeah. But I think that's gonna be it from me here. I appreciate again you guys kind of sticking around for this more niche sort of stream, and it was a bit on the shorter side, I know, but I don't really have too much else planned, and I feel like I've been talking for a little too long, so I want to give my throat a rest, and got some other things to do still today, so I will probably be calling it here. But I hope you guys enjoyed. Yeah. More creative stuff in the future. Anyways, that's going to be it for me today. I hope you have a good rest of your morning, afternoon, evening, whatever time it is for you. And I'll see you guys a little later. Bye-bye!